welcome back to the garage. So in the last episode, we were talking about how we were going to do some big testing of this Bronco after we did those mods, and big day is approaching. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to be taking a road trip out to Utah, and we're going to try and find some trails. We've kind of been looking some stuff up. It looks really cool out there. So we're really looking forward to it. So now we got the cooling system figured out. All the other maintenance pretty much I've been going through for quite a while. It's all good. So the truck itself seems like it's in good shape. Now what we're going to start talking about is what we want to go ahead and take with us on our trip, just to, you know, for those in case type moments. So biggest thing we wanted to take, this is all water. I think it's 6 gallons of water, and you never know when you might need water. I mean, if we get stuck somewhere, if the truck starts overheating in the middle of nowhere, you know, who knows? A bunch of water can't hurt anybody, right? We have a tire repair kit just in case something happens with tires. We got our little mini folding shovel. We actually always keep that with us just in case. We have a couple sets of gloves just in case, you know, who knows? I mean, it's all just in case, really. If something got to do something with a tire, if we got to get out and push, who knows? Got some glasses just in case I got to go under it. We got zip ties. We got like quick JB Weld stuff. We got a tow strap for if we get stuck, we need to get pulled out. We got hand wipes. We got LED lights. A little extra coolant too. Just, you know, we got water, but just in case we need coolant, might as well throw some coolant in there since I had a little left over. We got a tire inflator. We actually have this over here. Also has an air compressor in it, as well as it's a jumper box. It's a AC power. That'll help us out if we ever need it. We have a toolkit. This has a bunch of sockets and everything in it. You can kind of see it's got different ratchets, a bunch of sockets. Then we got a couple other basic tools that may or may not need. We got a bunch of Allen wrenches if we need them, screwdrivers, pliers, vice grips, some crescent wrenches in case, you know, situation calls for it. And so what we're gonna do, we're gonna put as much of this we can in that bag. Try to keep the truck as tidy as possible. We're gonna wrap some rags around tools so we don't hear them rattle, and we got some rags. And see where we go. Then of course we're gonna pack all our clothes and whatnot that we're gonna need. But yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll get this truck loaded, and here in a couple days we're gonna leave. All right, so we got all our stuff. We got our truck packed. It's barely light out. Let's go ahead and start heading across that desert. All right, update. So most of California went good. No problems. Things didn't really overheat. We ended up having some misfiring issues that it seemed like we were dumping water on the engine. It was kind of getting better. Thought maybe it was a fuel thing, like a vapor lock kind of thing. But that didn't really make sense after I was thinking about it, because I mean, it's fuel injected, and the line, I was looking at the lines and they're really well insulated and all that kind of stuff. So that's not it. So we were thinking about it, and it did basically the same thing the last time we had to change an ignition module. Now this one's not very old. This one's probably only like less than a year old, probably less than 6,000 miles, if even that far. Like that's probably still a stretch. So luckily, called up the O'Reillys out here, like kind of outside of Vegas, and they had one. They had the little tool I needed, because of course I didn't think to bring the tool because I wasn't expecting to change this, because I just did. And yeah, so now here we are. Found a shady spot in a parking lot, working on the truck. Hopefully we get back on the road here pretty soon. This thing's pretty easy to get out once you have the tool and everything, so no big deal. But yeah, let's get this thing put back together. So recap, we we made it. We started at 6:12 in the morning. It's about, well, it's 10:30 or so here, but that's an hour ahead. So realistically, like 9. So about 15 hours we've been working on getting our way over here. Driving, waiting for it to cool down, working on it a little bit, stopping at stores. It's been a journey. We so we were coming up the hill. It's super steep coming up here to Brian's Head is where we're at. And boy, had it pulled down to like second gear and stuff to get up this thing. Anyway, so it was working pretty hard. It had been doing better because it's a lot cooler here than it was back in Nevada and all that. But with that pull up this hill, it was warmed up. And so we're trying to find the place because it's a little confusing up here. It's dark, so you know, we've never been here before. I was a little confusing, but so we're driving around trying to figure out how to get into the actual place here. And one cool thing, we saw a deer. Well, Sammy saw the deer mostly, but anyway, we finally find the garage door and stuff because they have like an indoor parking spot and stuff for you. And Sammy gets out and opens the door, and the thing died right there in front of the door. I couldn't believe it. I had to open the hood, pour a bunch of water over it, get the thing cooled down a little bit so I could restart it, get it in the garage. Literally right outside the garage. I can't make it up. So we got a couple parts on the way up here before we left the main town at the bottom of the hill. Gonna try to see about putting those on tomorrow morning and drive it around town, kind of get our bearings up here, and see if I can't get this thing to run a little better, so that way we can keep exploring the state a little bit more. If not, we'll adjust our strategy. Maybe we'll stay up here on top of the hill and explore around here and see what's going on. But you'll see some more coming up here. Just wanted to let you know what's going on. All right, so we crawl into the truck, we look for that fuel filter. Turns out that the fuel filter on this thing is actually a cartridge one, not the inline that they actually gave me at the parts store. I never really looked at that before, so I had no idea. But I found it, I looked it up, now I know what it is. I don't have that up here, certainly not in this little town. The other thing I wasn't sure if we were gonna have is I checked the cap and rotor, and when I did so, there's a little line that goes from the pressure regulator up to a little nipple on the manifold, and I kind of bumped it and just snap, boom. I was like, oh, because I don't have any vacuum line with me. I didn't see a whole lot of stores up here. So we were planning on renting like a UTV tomorrow. So we decided, you know what? I mean, they got to do some maintenance on them things. Let's go check and see if they have some hose they'll sell us. We walked over there, which isn't very far, which is lucky, and asked them if they had any hose. And there was actually another place just a little bit up the street from them that actually sold some parts and stuff. Pretty cool little place, and they hooked us up with some hose. So this we don't need no more. And maybe that was a problem. I'm kind of hoping. The other thing we're gonna try and do just to try to take some stuff out of the equation. Maybe it's an O2 sensor. I don't know. So we're gonna try to. We did is unhook the coolant temp sensor for the engine, and just to see if we can maybe just keep it in open loop because it always runs good cold. So that's what we're gonna try, and we're gonna see what it does. We're gonna try and head up to the general store and just give it a quick test. All right, so we got our adjustments done. We're out here for a test drive, and this is how you test drive a Bronco. Okay, so unplugging that sensor was not a good idea. When we started it up, it was super rich then. It got even richer as the truck warmed up a little bit, to the point where we went to the store about 3 minutes away, maybe, if that, and the thing wouldn't even start when we got back out to it. Plugged that sensor back in, the truck seemed to be running good. We did a couple trails that were kind of right around where we were staying, and no problems at all. It was running good and everything, but so far we weren't quite sold on it, but we still wanted to do some off-roading. So what we did, we went out and we rented that Razor, so that way we could have some real fun. And after that, we ended up, driving some more. We took that Bronco all around town. We ended up driving up to the actual Bryan Head Peak, which was actually at 11,307 feet. I mean, it was hard to breathe up there. It was something else, and the view was incredible. You could, it was one of those times where you actually could see where you were staying from the top. Anyway, after that, we ended up seeing what they call Cedar Break. Quite interesting. Some colors I don't usually see together with the trees like that. It was something to see. After that, we ended up driving out to Panguitch Lake, which was a little bit longer of a drive. It seemed like a quite a bit better test for the truck, really, because there was some hills. It was there was some more miles to it too, and everything seemed to go pretty well. Everything was running good. I didn't have any misfires. Everything was good. We were having fun. It's quite some good scenery out there. So we're driving around, and you know what we needed? We needed some more time behind the wheel of one of them Razors, because that was just super fun, and you could kind of throw it around those trails without worrying about having to drive it, 7 hours back home. So that's what we did. We ended up renting another one and saw some more scenery, and if anything, the second time we rented it was even more scenic than the first. And wait till the end. There's a kind of we end with a splash. much. It was too much. Eventually, we ran out of time for our vacation, so we packed up. We left early. We left about 6 a.m. again from Utah and just got going. It was smooth sailing, no problems at all. We got all the way through Nevada, no problems. Climbed up the hills into California, no problems. We got about to the 5-hour mark, which put us in Barstow. We got some gas, and once we did that, we were leaving, getting back on the freeway, and wouldn't you know it, started feeling that little misfire again. But at this point, I pretty much knew how to handle it. It wasn't really as big of a problem as when it was first happening, because I knew I could drive it a certain way to get it to work. So we went ahead, we got it pushed all the way home. The only time it really kind of getting a little sketchy was once we got actually closer to home and we had to stop more, because that's when the problem is a bigger problem. But other than that, we made it home, no problems really. And since we've driven it, and it hasn't had any problems. It's weird. It's just once it drives for 5 hours, it starts giving up. So it's like it's getting tired. I don't know. So we made it back, good to go, and that was about our trip. Now I'm gonna make another video too that's gonna have a bit more of the actual driving footage. If you're interested in that, that'll be the next one that's gonna come out, and then we got some more new stuff coming up. So remember, don't forget to subscribe, hit like on the video, and we'll see you next time on Tag a Garage.